Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Saturday Morning Cartoons. With me today, we got Gorilla's Random Thoughts, Mikey, and Teague. How you guys doing?
I'm doing all right.
I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Gorilla.
I'm doing all right, and hello to everybody watching on my channel. Welcome.
Yeah, and
I
thank
woke
you
up
for
crazy
inviting
and I'm
me.
ready to watch some fucking cartoons. I got my cereal and my orange juice.
You got your cereal.
Hey, I got my beer, my bacon, and my Glocks in here, just like a true American breakfast.
Hey,
It's like
breakfast of
Elvis.
champions.
You know, Elvis Presley used his pistol as a TV remote control. Why shouldn't you?
Yeah, why not?
Hey, good morning,
morning,
Sci-Fi
Bobby.
Mommy.
Bobby.
Hey,
Hey, Bobby. Sorry, I've been
Can't-
missing
You
your
know how hard it is to
lunch
control
ones there. I've
whatever
been
remote.
busy.
Tell all your friends about the unholy
Yeah.
alliance that was made just moments ago, where we're going to combine Trek shows tonight and see what happens. We're just going to see what happens. We will save Star Trek.
We'll do it live. Damn it, we'll do it live.
And I think you're going to like the name I've come up with for my show.
Hey, Daniel's Hot Topics. Good morning.
Good morning, Daniel.
Hey, Daniel.
Live from Bellwood, Ontario.
Okay, today's cartoon is, I was wrong about the year, 1996, Jumanji, the animated series. I guess that 98 date was the copyright for the DVD, not the show itself.
So,
Now, did they keep
Are-
any of the original voices from the movies, or
Not a
No.
damn one.
not a damn one? Damn it!
It's
Damn
as
voiceover
unrelated to the movie as they can possibly get.
Oh man. Okay.
no, that was a rude.
Well, this is a little bit better. The most expensive voice actor on this show is Tim Curry.
Nice.
So let's get this started. Season 1, Episode 1, The Price.
The price.
Do you think it's better they animated it or not?
You can tell this is Rugrats type animation.
Yeah, it's about the
Not
same
Rugrats,
era.
different.
Well, not much different.
Well, the new Rugrats looks like shit.
Yeah,
The new Rugrats is CGI, so yeah, it's shit.
it is.
Never knew there was a Jumanji cartoon. Yeah, it was the mid to late 90s, so any movie that did reasonably well in the theater, they tried to get an animated series for it.
Yeah.
And patience doesn't pay off there, kid. Yeah, I think
Well, at
he
least
done
the
screwed
game
up.
showed one of them the clue.
Yeah.
It sucked him right up without showing him any clue.
Okay, this has to be the worst looking facsimile of Robin Williams in a wild outfit and wild beard and everything.
They intentionally went a little bit away from the Williams look.
Yeah, they did.
Let's get this. They wanted it to be well distinct from him.
All right. Mhm.
Uh,
Bob Halfcock. It's an appropriate name.
Stern and to the point.
Yeah.
uh,
Oh yeah, big hippo, baby. Whoa. Ride that hippo.
I thought he was supposed to be the bad guy.
Yes,
He is.
he is.
He's just doing a little reconnaissance work right now.
Look at those gorillas.
That's okay. He just shot an elephant, so
Yeah.
he has the trophy in the back room.
Uh, uh, yeah. Oh, here, I thought they were going to crash the whole ceiling down on him.
Oh jeez.
No, not yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I found that out a few years ago there, Daniel, but I thought, but I never really got around to watching it.
Hey, Herc.
Hey, Herc, how's it going? Did I forget to put the Cosby link in? We are just starting our first episode of Jumanji.
Yeah, Daniel, I heard rumors, but this is the first time I'm seeing it in its entirety. Hey, Herc.
There's the Cosby link.
Well, at least he asked.
All right. Hey, at least they ran it in a river. But that would have actually killed him in real life there because of the force of the impact on the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should not even see what they do in these animated shows. He would never be able to do in real life.
Yeah. Now, Resolute, did you know this? The guy who voices Alan Parrish, Bill Fagerbakke, he was in The Stand. He was the friend of Rob Lowe, the big tall guy.
I did not know that.
Yeah. We just
I
recently
haven't really
saw
watched
The
The
Stand.
Stand, and I haven't seen that in a long time.
Right. Well, he played the role of Tom Cullen, that slightly not quite, smart, big, tall, blonde-haired guy. Yeah, the actor is Bill Fagerbakke, and he does the voice of Alan Parrish in this animated series. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
I don't know what to make of this animation style.
Like I said, it looks like a lot like Rugrats to me.
It worked for Rugrats, but I don't know about Jumanji here.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
weird as fuck.
It's a little bit cheaper.
It didn't endure, so like, what's its legacy? You know what I
Rugrats.
mean? Like, I guess, but this weird no Iris little orphan Annie thing going on with him.
Well, apparently this
Or
animated
people's
series
irises are just
lasted.
tiny.
Yeah, Teak. This animated series lasted for 3 seasons, so it was actually pretty decent.
It's on the standard 40 contract.
Right.
Shows like this, Ghostbusters Extreme, Extreme Dinosaurs. Extreme was popular at the time.
Yeah.
They all started off with a 40 episode contract, so they're making those 40 no matter how well it was received.
This is cringe AF looking. The chick is the worst worst looking character.
Yeah. You notice the exaggerated head most.
Yeah.
The neck, yeah, it's crazy, weird, and just it's, you know what it is? It's uncanny in a way that isn't cool. It's like an uncanny valley of weirdness, and it's really weird. Throw in like a story David Lynch wouldn't mind, and you've got a combination for like a very strange Twilight Zone morning cartoon.
Yeah. I can make so many comments to that.
Yeah, right.
I just want to say this is my first introduction to the world of Jumanji. I know almost nothing about it except that every movie is progressively more annoying and less charming.
Yeah, it's kind of like the movie.
This isn't starting out in the very lofty place. I'm sorry, Germ.
Yeah.
Although they're like, if you want to roll into the cringe, this cartoon fucking has it.
No, if you got cringe, you want cringe, I got Border Town for you.
Oh God.
I believe it.
Right? That eight-legged freak.
Yeah,
There
that'll
you
work.
go.
There you go.
When in doubt, cheat.
Yeah.
They made it.
Yeah, Eric says yes, Rugrats, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, Jerm, we got a problem here. We're dangerously close to having the Canadians outrank us here in your channel. Or in your Cosby here.
Oh, that is dangerous. Oh
Oh,
no,
we
we're
lost.
tied.
Who did we lose?
Anonymous something or other.
Oh, Herc says he's Canadian. I think he's in Texas, but his is marked Canadian. Ha ha!
Unless you want to live your life as a monkey.
Yeah, it's all fun and games until the stampede comes through the living room.
Yeah, right.
So how do you explain that one to your insurance company?
Well, if the monkeys don't kill him, the cop will be a good eyewitness.
So so they have two people voicing characters that came from I believe The Simpsons, Maurice LaMarche and Billy West, who both came from Simpsons, do voices in the series.
Billy West's first thing might be Howard Stern.
And it's two ladies that are voicing Judy and Peter. And Melanie Chertoff. Oh, wow. Laura Shepard. Okay. And Van Pelt is voiced by Sherman Howard.
Yeah.
This character is weird as fuck looking.
Yep.
This makes Wild Thornberries look like Rembrandt.
Yeah, this is the same animation style as Wild Thornberries.
But
Yeah.
something went wrong here, though.
It's the
Like
thickness
what-
of the neck.
In
That's
the
the main
third
thing.
trimester of every single character's conception, like the artists took acid and messed up its fucking development. There's something intrinsically wrong just tacked on to the end of all these characters. It would have been easy to see and fix.
What do they consider an entire Jumanji tribe?
Pygmies.
So a lot of people that have seen this, about 40% in the United States gave it a 5.7 out of 10. In Russia, about 38% of them gave it a 5. And in the United Kingdom, about 60% of them gave it a 7.
Did you expect anything less?
I expected much less.
Yeah, it has an overall rating of 6.3, which low D grade. That seems about right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they have the spears.
Yeah. Go home. And they're back in Brentford.
Not so lucky.
No. Who came back in?
It looks like the attic that Roger lives in. It's got the window just happens to be the same.
Yeah.
Who lives in?
Roger Smith from American Dad. They're aliens.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Okay, I don't think we need episode 2. We can just skip around and
Did you preview these and find them to be mid, or do you want to skip around just for the hurt?
some of the later ones are a little bit better.
Gotcha.
Not in animation, but in story. Let's see what we got.
It's a real shame about the animation.
Yeah.
Like, I have to say, like, I hate it.
I don't mind this.
This thing wants to
I
load
think
up.
they did it better. I think they did it better in Rugrats, but it's not the best here.
You know what it
Yeah,
is?
Rugrats and Wild Thornberrys do it better. They put a little bit more money into it.
Hey, Germ, try season 2, episode 10, The Trial. Captured by monkeys, Alan is taken before the judge and charged with stealing a treasure known as the Singing Orb.
Okay.
You know what? In the world of Rugrats, and like the world that Rugrats exists in, whatever you want to call it, it's weird enough and different enough, and the Rugrats are different enough and weird enough, and like it's perceptually different enough. This is like some of it is supposedly rooted in our world, and there's like no difference in animation style between our world and Jumanji world. So it's just like a really hard to absorb, somewhat messy experience watching it visually.
Yeah, they cut some corners, like with the background on this one.
Was the money never there, or is it because
No? But with Rugrats and Wild Thornberrys, they had Nickelodeon behind them. This one was released on 4Kids TV, so the budget was considerably lower.
it still could have been okay if this characters didn't look like such shit?
Yeah, this animated series came out a year after the first one with Robin Williams.
And Helen Hunt's sister, right? Isn't Bonnie Hunt in Jumanji?
Yes, she is Bonnie Hunt, right?
I always thought she was the cooler, better looking one.
Yeah.
Well, that's not hard to do when your sister's Helen Hunt. Helen Hunt's the definition of mid.
She's she's a butterface. What can I tell you? I also, just call me crazy, I felt like I had a shot with Bonnie Hunt in a way that I never did with Helen. Just take that for what it means.
Oh, wow. Guess who voices are in this one? We've got Edward Asner is the voice of the judge. Tim Curry, is the voice of Trader Slick. And William Sanderson is Professor J.S. Ibsen. Wow. That's a good cast right
Tim
there.
Curry's their regular, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tim Curry, I think, is in about 11 or 12 episodes.
That's awesome.
Well, I mean,
that seems to be about his average for a show. He did a lot of recurring stuff on a lot of animated shows.
Yeah.
I think it might have come down to how much money he's making outside. Definitely factors in, but I think how, like, you know, he has to read the lines. He has to read the script. He understands it. If he felt it was like overly dumb, I think he would just be like, "Fuck this." Like he had that level of success. Tim Curry wasn't Sean Connery, but he wasn't, you know, like Bob Sheboygan.
Yeah, he's the go-to guy for animated series. He had so many offers out there. He couldn't commit to just one full time.
Right.
And this is coming in like the twilight of Ed Asner. Very long life. He had a long, full life. He had a huge fucking career. If anybody thinks that you're too like old or too ugly, look at Lou Grant. Fucking starts hitting home runs at like 55 with Mary Tyler Moore, and he's in cartoons and doing voice work all the way up until the movie Up. if not beyond, and getting recognized for it and a lot of like acclaim. So he also was like SAG president twice or something.
Yeah, that's Ed Asner, Daniel.
She could turn the world on with her smile. Well, it's you, girl, you can know it.
There's Tim Curry.
All right, we'll show this with this kind of weird. I think you need Tim Curry's voice to just sound like the voice of Tim Curry because that's your draw.
Yeah.
Like you don't want him getting into a character, so you like it's kind of a waste. But you've got Tim Curry. It's hard to explain.
What the?
By the way, hey Daniel, I'm trying to absorb that the matinee ticket for fucking Deadpool and Wolverine is $19.38.
That much?
Yeah.
It's a matinee. What am I, $26 to go see it later or something? Get the fuck out of here.
Hell, they stopped
Hey,
doing
my
matinee
ticket-
pricing over here a couple years ago.
My tickets
Well, how
around
is that
here are $5. Like when I went to go see in the drive-in there, when I went to go see Inside Out 2, that was like $10.
How much is a competent haircut from someone by you?
Mine free.
What's
Well, that's because my sister does it. That's because my
How
sister
much
does it.
How much does your sister charge when she does it for other people?
$10, $15. Depending on
Holy crap.
how much work you gotta do. Like if she has to go sit there and braid a bunch of hair, cut and braid a bunch of hair that's down to your ass there, yeah, that's gonna cost you like $50, $60. But if you just want a quick buzz, $15, $10, $15.
Oh, all right. So haircuts are about the same price because it is like $50 for a haircut around here. Which is loathsome and fucking sickening, but what are you gonna do?
Well,
Makes me
$15
glad I
isn't
don't
too
have to worry
bad.
about that anymore.
No, not 15, 50.
No, ours are 15.
Yeah, no, I need to spend like a minimum of $50 or my hair will get messed up really fucking bad. The
Well,
cool part
I
though
think
is
I think it's time for you to move.
I don't.
I think
Big
he's
fun,
sort of stuck
50 bucks.
there.
No. If I leave New York, what rational person will be left to tell other people they're wrong?
Hey, New York's a lost cause.
It's America's safest major city. I get why people think it's bad because there's so many TV shows and shit that happen here. But it's not actually that dangerous or that dirty.
I think it depends on what part you're in.
While you need to know your way around, it's nowhere near as bad as like the nicest part of Philly is scary as shit. Philly is like, say, 70 miles away. I can easily get there. It is the most deeply frightening place I've ever been in my life. And I'm from New York City, and I thought nothing fucking scared me. I was like, what the fuck? I thought it was on some weird, like Planet Crackhead 4. Night of the Living Baseheads around Independence Hall. It is disgusting. And violent. I can see 2 fucking physical altercations in my line of sight. Yeah, the only cool thing about the $50 haircut is I get to go to downtown Manhattan and get it. Pizza there is great, and it's kind of cool looking.
I don't know about that one, Daniel. They pretty much wrapped up the storyline for that show.
What show is that?
Spider-Man the animated series.
Yeah.
That was a
It's
highly
the only
well done
time he
show.
got his happy ending.
Yeah, let's leave that poor Spider-Man alone, but we could resurrect an animated series for Spider-Man. Like, no one would mind that. By the way, I just want to point out there were still a lot of seats available for Deadpool and Wolverine, so I don't know.
I think people are waiting to see what people say about it first before they decide to go.
I was supposed to work today, but now that I'm not going to be working today, like I'm thinking, do I wait on Culture Casino to go spend my money, or do I gamble my money and make an upload about the movie? Which means I would have to make notes during the movie. I'm of two minds about this one.
Hey, a lot of people said good things about the movie. They said some people even said it's the best Deadpool yet, but I'm not going to go out of my way to watch it.
Yeah, I heard best Deadpool yet. Sit down. Let me tell you a little story about a movie called The Force Awakens and how people said it was the best finally getting Star Wars right, unquote. I'm highly skeptical it's the best one ever.
I don't know. Deadpool 2 was kind of a disappointment.
I enjoyed both of them, but I would say the first one probably is better. The thing is, Deadpool more naturally should be interacting with fucking Spider-Man. That's what I'm familiar with him from. He was like a turncoat sort of merc hanging out in the world of Spider-Man who'd come into his orbit when he wasn't hanging out, fucking around with the X-Men, which seems to be all they want to do with him. Like here's a Deadpool movie. Deadpool runs into Black Cat. They make an alliance. They have their own agenda, but they do something nice on the side. And at that point, they've like run into Spider-Man, who's also looking to do something cool. I had limited excitement about the idea of Deadpool and Wolverine.
So they're saying escape is futile?
Yes.
And with multiple Cerberus there, he's probably right.
We've got service.
He's in for violent murder.
He has a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Dig it up, oh, dig it up, oh, dig.
So, Gorilla, next weekend, I crunched the numbers. I'm gonna fly out to you, get a hotel for 2 nights, and go see like 3 movies. But by the time I get home,
Hey,
I'll
why
be
waste the money on the hotel? Well, hey, I got a couch. Why waste the money on the hotel?
No, now I'm going to save like $360. Yeah,
Wait, $360 on a hotel? What? Where are you? Wait, so you'd be staying 3 nights or 2 nights?
that would be like maybe at most 2 nights in New York. At most.
Two.
Holy
So
crap.
you'd be staying here 2 nights. That'd be $120 for a hotel.
Like I'm saying, if I went there and went to the multiplex and just went to 3 movies a day for 2 days and flew home, I would probably come out ahead. I saw the Rolling Stones in New Jersey. The ticket was $190, right? Now I had a decent but not fantastic seat. Everyone saw the videos I made, right? You guys saw them. You kind of had some perspective of where I was. For $300, I bought 2 tickets and 2 plane tickets, and only needed to spend 100 more to fly my nephew both ways to Orlando to see them. That's the difference in prices between where I live and where you live.
I found out I could fly to Richmond there for about $150.
I think when I flew to Minnesota, it was like $200 from New York each way.
Each way?
Well,
You got to go on Ticketmaster.
Maybe it was less.
Well,
It was a really long time ago.
So-
I went in the 20th century.
yeah, so T.
Yeah, you got to go on these travel sites.
Yeah.
They didn't
T,
exist
you
when I
saw
went
the
there.
Stones for about $190.
In New York, it was about $200, yeah, to see the Stones. But remember, that also, I had to throw my buddy some money for the exorbitant parking fee, and I bought.
Well, I saw the Police for the second time in 2007. The first time I saw them in 1983, I think I saw them for less than $70, and in 2007 I saw them for $170. So it was.
Well, you have to pay to go see your cops. Man, they're gypping you, man. They're supposed to be there to serve and protect, but they cost you to go see them.
I got to see the Police for free because I pay taxes.
Yeah.
I wasn't happy.
I don't have to pay taxes. I don't have to do anything. I just have a neighbor who runs a meth lab.
Oh, that's great.
Nice.
I have an open air drug market across the street from my home.
Yeah, they put one of the vending machines out in front of your home?
Exactly. Let's just say this: if you have a substance abuse problem and you move to New York, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. If you don't have a substance abuse problem and you move to New York, those first 3 months, you're going to find out whether or not you have an addictive personality one way or another, because you're either going to flame out or figure it out. There's a party every night here. I never would have to stay home if I didn't want to.
That's good.
That was visually interesting until we cut back to our weirdly dumb characters.
So they're French.
Yeah.
Well, they're certainly hairy enough.
Yeah. I thought Gorilla was hairier than these guys.
Oh, mine! It's my precious! My precious!
This goes to show you, when all else fails, bribe the judge.
It absorbs him. He's inside it. Yay. And now they're back home. So, T, do you remember Melanie Chardoff?
Wait,
Not offhand.
Oh, okay. Well, she's the one that does the voice of their Aunt Nora.
You know what? This is so of its time because what they've done is they've pretty much moved on from like voice acting people, and now it's just people who are established. Their house looks like the Overlook Hotel.
So, do you want to try something from season 3, Germ, or whatever your choice is?
Season
How many seasons?
Seasons. There are 3 seasons.
I thought there was I thought this was 1 season there.
And 4 lights.
There's 3 seasons. Yeah, this ran
3
from
seasons, about 40 episodes.
Right. It ran from 96 until right up to 1999. So if this was the best animation you would get before the year 2000, God help us all. Yeah. Let's see here.
Well, this is coming at a point when they're. I think
all right,
we've already.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Teague. I'm sorry.
Jerb would know this one. Have we passed the point of no more cartoons on Saturday morning? They just gave up on it.
Yeah, the closest you get is some schedule Saturday morning releases for independent stuff.
Go with network here. When does
network no,
stop?
they gave up on it.
1998, 2002.
It finally died about 2002, 2003-ish.
Which is a shame.
The networks, yeah, ABC gave up a lot earlier. They gave up probably 97 or 98. Fox
Cable
Kids and WB gave up about 2002.
Did they just get outcompeted by better cartoon networks on basic cable?
No, this was it's because of Reagan, wasn't it?
Oh, okay.
Reagan was long dead by 2002.
No, I thought there was some
here while you underestimate our greatest president. Just because he is dead for 10 years doesn't mean he couldn't have pulled something off, Germ.
No. What I'm saying is, it wasn't some rule going into effect that they had to be like educational or something, and that's what killed it.
That was like a decade earlier.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
why you saw all the PSEs on like the end of G.I. Joe and basically the
Honestly,
entire series Captain Planet.
That might go back to the bicentennial. That's the start of like the after the Saturday morning cartoon PSA. And sometimes those PSA things like would fill like a half fucking hour. Like some of those Schoolhouse Rock songs, like it wasn't just the song. There was like a little bit. There was some shtick before and after. There was like
Hey, LG.
Liberty's Kids comes like a lot later. There was like contemporary like stuff. Hey LDG, what's going on?
How you doing, Pickles?
Hey, Pickles.
Hey, so Resolute Germ, we could go to the very last episode, season 3, episode 14, called Goodbye Jumanji.
I have nothing to fear as episode 14.
Of season 3, yeah.
Yeah.
When it comes down to it, the quality of this cartoon, Goodbye Jumanji and Nothing to Fear are effectively the same thing to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it said. The last one here was good. The last one here, it did say was Goodbye Jumanji, and before it was an old story. Weird. Okay.
Yeah. It must be a different. I'll do an old story first and then Nothing to Fear. Hopefully it's just a different title.
Yeah. Sounds good.
They're a little less weird, but I guess when they move around, their necks just change length.
A bit, yeah.
Huh. Uh, of course, it's a game.
If their characters weren't so weird, I'd be like, this opening is kind of well conceived, or whatever that sequence was kind of well conceived.
Yeah. They've made some improvements, but
Everything's okay until
Yeah.
we see a
Yeah.
human. I feel like everything's okay till we see a human.
Yeah,
So,
so
saying the humans are the problem.
I expect that from LDG, but no one takes the side of the computers.
You know
Yes.
what? I'm Latino like Bender. Hello, humans. Hello, humans.
So I wanted to quickly mention that I did recognize Melanie Chardoff. She was on that short-lived series called Fridays that featured that psychotic guy Michael Richards and Larry David. That was on ABC.
mean to tell me he couldn't feel that?
Uh-huh.
What? Why is Kramer psychotic?
Oh, they have in this episode they brought back Tim Curry, and they also have Dabney Coleman doing a voice of Ashton Phillips.
It's a decent voice cast.
Yeah.
Why is Michael Richards psychotic?
Well, that's enough to depress him, I guess.
Yeah.
But this is called an old story because as soon as they got back from Jumanji, they start aging.
Yeah. So he ends up in jail.
Probably
Yeah.
does.
Or hit by a bus. He's gonna get in a lot of trouble when they figure all that Jumanji stuff out.
I had a video game called Maximum Carnage. It was a Spider-Man game.
How would they even? You can't stop them just for that.
Oh, by this point, they've caused some trouble.
Look, Lee Harvey Oswald was arrested in a movie theater. Clearly, they're guilty.
Yeah, nobody notices.
Yeah.
I don't think that means what I thought it would mean.
I doubt it means what you thought it would mean. Well, you saw the skeletons.
I mean, this is so damned weird. Would anybody understand what I meant when I said that that character that we're seeing now is like sort of almost accidental Peter Max?
Yes.
I don't believe it was on purpose.
Yeah. So Ashton Phillips is voiced by Dabney Coleman.
Another guy just beloved, so getting the voice work. I don't know why they were never able to make any show work for Dabney Coleman, but he was fucking funny.
Uh, right. I'll be right back.
No, don't leave me alone with these cartoons. Someone hold me. Wow, in that shot, she accidentally looked like she was supposed to be 75 years old. The animation is so wildly inconsistent.
Yes, Daniel played Maximum Carnage as well, and he liked it.
I love
And
that
yeah,
kid.
Daniel, if there was a cartoon in the 90s, Tim Curry more than likely made at least a cameo appearance.
Yes.
Was he was not looking good last time I saw him. Is Tim still with us?
Yeah, knock over the geriatrics. Real classy adventure.
All right, I'm back.
By the way, slightly off topic, as I'm looking at getting Deadpool tickets, they announced that Deadpool is dead in the comics and being replaced by a better, stronger female.
That actually
Oh,
makes sense for Marvel.
What, do they fucking hate money or something? They don't want it around?
they get plenty of money from BlackRock.
It's bullshit. Freed from the need to be successful, these entertainment companies have really been shit. And then, like, I guess Newtrek lost their, like, golden parachute and all their money. So when forced to try to be good, we saw all they could do was be outrageous and stupid.
Yeah, Tim Curry was in the running for the voice of the Joker originally, Daniel.
He could have pulled it off. He could have definitely pulled it off. Mark Hamill's just slightly bigger star.
Yeah.
I would. I mean,
and
if
more
you're going on
consistent
star power,
voice. Tim Curry would have been a little bit over the top, and I'm sure he didn't test well with audience for that particular role.
And also, like, much lower name recognition, much lower. Mark Hamill. There's not a lot since Star Wars, but like, it still like was at that point the very biggest movie of all time, with no disputing it. And like, unlike his tweets, his voice work is very good. Why is this character a million years old again? What's going on? Oh, is it a Holy Grail story? I'm hearing audio bleed of the show. Might not be a good thing. See, like, that character looks normal. That character's working out. The Rugrat like character is not that much of a problem. Seriously,
Yeah,
it looks
the bigger
so
they
much less
are,
cringe.
there's more of them to see the glaring errors.
Their old people are really fucking disgusting and cringe. Oh, geez, when they aged her back to her original age, like, they passed the optimal age. If that character had been like a teenager, it'd be a little less cringy. They're too young. Actually, they've rewound beyond their ages, haven't they? I think I might sip very slowly at a little bit at a time from a cup that makes me age and de-age like this.
Yeah, but they have to be the age they were in the movie.
Okay, I get you. See, okay, now that we're back in the real world, things still look just as fucking weird.
Well, that's more than a little bit suspicious on his part.
Like I said, this show is deeply weird. Hit those like and follow buttons for our pal Resolute Germ, guys.
Definitely.
Oh, Daniel says that there's somewhere on YouTube you can hear the Tim Curry Joker, and it's pretty good. I mean, I believe it's pretty good. I believe he would be pretty good. I don't know. Can we give all the credit to Mark Hamill? Do you think maybe the director had a vision? He was like, okay, Mark, rein it in or whatever? Because we know Tim Curry can listen to a director.
Yeah.
I guess they never could fix that fat zebra in the opening. Well, that sure worked. I guess she has a problem with bugs. Thing has a hell of a grip for not being real. Very mad scientist of him.
The light and shadow pattern is different on every character. They don't have the sun in the right place or the same place for everybody. Were they using some early computer tech to extend the amount of to limit the amount of frames they had to draw or something?
I believe so. It would be the right time for it.
Yeah, something's going on.
This is a particularly weird episode. Not in a good way.
This writer or these animators have a real grudge against the concept of object permanence in human perception.
Should have kicked him into the beam.
Now they're just fucking with us.
Yeah.
I think some people are angry they found out they were fucking fired. What do you think? And slightly indifferent.
Yeah, they knew it was coming to the end of their 40 episode run, so they're probably out of ideas.
This one seems to be like set up for a logical end, though. It's like the game ends and you go back to the real world. Goodbye, the end. They know it's called Goodbye Jumanji. I mean, I'll give them the credit for at least giving people an ending rather than pretending to go on. You know?
Yeah. This isn't Goodbye Jumanji, though. This is Nothing to Fear.
It sucks.
Tubi, I think. Yeah, Tubi, I think, listed them out of order.
Tubi's AI was the matter.
Yeah. Tubi is not the brightest. Oh, they switched episode 9 with episode 14.
I do that all the time. That's like the King Arthur and the Holy, what do you call it? Monty Python and the Holy Grail mistake, right? 1, 2, 5, no, 3.
Yeah. Oh, well. I don't think it's really worth watching, though. We got our 4 episodes. Not as great as I remembered it, but good to look back. So what do you guys think of the series? Mikey, Gorilla, you there?
You're going to have to, I guess, put up with me.
Have I been muted that whole time?
Yes.
You're muted the last episode and a half.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
No, like it had potential, but I think they could have done better.
I think
Yeah.
all of it could have done better.
A little bit more investment, a little bit more money into it.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
hits
I
the
agree with
ground. This hits the ground rolling and burning and never stops for a moment to think itself over. It explodes with the horror and
We lost Mikey.
predictability of a napalm raid.
Daniel seemed to like it. That's okay. So,
There's some value to watching it. I think it's okay to watch, but like it really was like there were some basic problems with the art that
yeah,
sometimes were really cringe.
yeah. And as I said, is probably the 4Kids TV cutting corners on the budget because they never could compete with like WB or Fox Kids.
What
So
about the strangeness of the stories though? Then you know what I mean? Like that doesn't cost that much more.
I don't know. They're trying to fit it inside the existing framework. The stories I don't have too much of a problem with. It's mainly the art.
I'm more or less with you. Only one of
Yeah.
them was outright just challenging my mind with its weirdness. Like one of them. The term I like to use is there was one that was just hostile to being called reasonable or enjoyable. It was the last one.
Yeah. Yeah, those fear-based ones, nightmare stories usually don't make sense. Hey, Sis Dan.
Hey, sit down.
But yeah, I think if they had more money to put into it, they could have solved most of those problems.
Yeah, maybe.
But oh well. That was 18 years ago. Or no, not 18, 28 years ago.
Holy shit.
Because all these episodes were produced or they began production before the show started. They knew they had the 40 episodes to fill. They probably knew they weren't getting extended beyond that because there are tons of shows that in that time frame that got 40 episodes and never came back.
Plus, they have plenty of trackables, right? Like, isn't there a sequel movies that were straight to video? So Jumanji just like maybe underperformed immediately. Like the first Jumanji was a little bit like it's a Robin Williams movie, but it's super.
Yeah.
It's also super weird, and sometimes. Sorry, go ahead.
It's weird, and it didn't perform as well as they were hoping. It did okay, but it didn't break the bank.
And when you get Robin Williams, you've got Robin Williams. He's awesome, but like he's like $20 million. He's a huge part of your budget, and your movie has to do like a certain amount of money to like get that back. And that role was like it was well tailored to him and stuff. It was just like I don't know if people were ready for that movie or if anyone ever wanted any Jumanji movies. I'm surprised that this franchise is so enduring.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good one-off.
But
I'm not sure about the. I know it's a good one-off, but I don't know if I'm not. I still don't know how I feel about the remakes.
There you go.
Those exist solely because of The Rock.
Douchebag Jack Black was sort of a draw a while ago when they started making them. He might not be irrelevant to the initial success. People really disliking him only goes back about 7 days.
Well, I think they're not, Jack Black might get kicked out of these movies here because a lot of people are pissed with him right now.
Yeah.
What he said was too mean. No matter what you think about anybody, it was douchey. And the only thing that might get him off the hook is that his buddy said it, not him, right?
Yeah, but he laughed at it. Then his buddy apologized. So people are like, okay, they apologize, blah, blah. But then he retracted the apology, so they're back to fuck you.
I don't think that retracting the apology changed anything, honestly. I think I was just like, this is too much and it's despicable, no matter who I'm going to vote for. I think these guys are uncool. And
I'm
like
glad a
the
lot of
last
these
thing,
people are getting fired for it, for what they're
you know what,
saying.
if you act this way, you should be held accountable and some civility should come back and it should be evenly applied. Something like the Gina Carano thing really speaks to it, right? It's like Gina Carano wasn't overly politically outspoken, but she gets fired. Mark Hamill can't shut the fuck up about every piece of political minutia, and he goes too far. It's like he's an idiotic saying generator. He's a very poor rep for what he wants to say too.
Wow, the movie made almost $200 million in 1995.
Yeah, because the movie was a good one-off, but then
Yeah.
I think they should have just left it alone.
I
Yeah.
think movies lasted longer, and I also like
Yeah, it
19,
was in theaters for 2.5 months. Looks like.
1995 had less movies than we have now. And also the other thing I'd say is this, right? Just $7 in New York. If you go to the movie and it's Jumanji, it's like maybe the movie isn't so good, but you walk out, it's like, Robin Williams was good here and there. And people were like more forgiving at that price. So like a lot more people had to see it for it to make the 200 million back then. It's substantial. But at the same time, like remember, 10% of your costs, all of your profits, are already absorbed by Robin Williams. 50% of your prices go to movies. I'm up to 120 million. You know, so how much did it cost to make? There's only 80 million left to split as profit without publicity, assuming that publicity costs proportionately less.
It only cost $65 million to make.
So this movie had $15 million of profit after a layout of 85. Probably.
Yeah.
Jumanji.
And I'd give a lot of it to it being 95. Everyone was sick with money in 95. The tech
Bill
boom
Clinton knew
was
how to
just
run the economy. Yeah,
the tech boom was just hitting its height right there.
Uncool Bill Clinton had a few things that he was able to do, like hire decent economic advisors. What can I tell you? The economy was good then.
He couldn't fail.
Maybe he couldn't.
Virtually anything he did, the internet was going to plow right through any bad policies he had.
The birth of the internet is what you're talking about. Yeah, I would agree. Yeah. I think one of the things they said about his predecessor was they sat him down and told him that the economy would fix itself, but not in time for him to win the election. And he's like, "What do you mean?" And they're like, "About 3 months after the election, it's going to start to slowly build to like the best economy we've ever had." And he's like, "Fuck."
Yeah, they told HW that about 1994 things are going to start getting pretty good. And then we had a good 3 years of just insane economy.
I put the delayed response on HW because he couldn't back away from the economic policies that he hated under Reagan. That he was the biggest critic of them. He called them voodoo economics, and he was tied to them. And it takes him his entire term to slowly transition to his version of it, which I believe he called supply side economics, was a little more stable. And so it was just like, the Reagan trickle-down thing was never supposed to be permanent, and it may have achieved its ends, and then people just didn't want to even fathom change. So he had to like prepare people for the idea that there would even be a change. But I think there's an entire generation of Americans who might not know what this is like. If my boss was an asshole, I could just quit and like at my coffee break and on lunch buy a newspaper and the next day have like 2 job interviews. Like the economy was booming.
Yeah. Yeah, if you weren't around in the mid to late 90s, one of the best economies you can ever see. And as I said, that's when complete revolution in technology. That's what you get.
when we heard that the president misbehaved, we were like, we don't fucking care. Like, just lock him away and put like a guard on him so he can't do anything else crazy. And, we'll just like, the things are going all right. I don't fucking really care.
Yeah. Neuter him, get rid of that shrill wife, and keep everything going.
Yeah.
And the series reminds Daniel of Casper the Animated Series.
I think
Yeah,
his last two. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That is the same time frame, and that one was for Fox Kids, I believe, because Fox owns the franchise rights, and they're the ones who actually made the Casper movie.
Hey, I want to watch Casper now.
Which Casper though? Like, there's a Christina Ricci movie, and there's another one, right?
Yeah, they
Cas-
have some. I believe it's Fox Family. They made a couple movies for.
How weird is it that Christina Ricci's 42 years old?
Oh God,
No, she's still
that
cute,
makes
but
me
I mean,
feel.
man,
Yeah, she's still
yeah.
cute, but I remember being a real little kid and seeing Adam's Family Values, and at that age, as one of my first crushes.
I can see why she would be.
She's the
mean,
reason
remember-
I had some unfortunate incidents with some golf girls.
I think, yeah, the Addams Family took a lot of people in a terrible direction, but it was a good movie. And she actually, yeah, a good child actress. And I guess either she just made so much money she doesn't care, or she does other stuff. But she is in the Wednesday show, isn't she?
I think she
She's
made
not
a cameo.
Wednesday. Just
I
a
haven't
cameo?
actually seen.
I would have made her Morticia. She's beautiful.
Yeah. Oh no, they got. Was it Selma Hayek? It might have been Selma Hayek.
I don't have any issue with Salma Hayek being Morticia. She's fucking funny. I'll give her that. She learned English good enough. And she's really cool. What's her big quote? Like, I'm short, fat, dumb, and don't speak English. America's a great country. Look at my success.
Yeah, probably. See if we can actually.
She has said it. Yeah, no, she's really just realistic and cool. And she's like, people find me attractive, I guess.
Oh yeah, Christina Ricci is in the series. She plays what the heck?
For a person who didn't speak
Marilyn
English initially,
Thornhill.
is she like a guidance counselor at school?
No, it just lists as the character name and doesn't say what the character does.
I'm trying to figure out where you could find a way to fit her in a recurring manner. Wednesday would seem to like need to go to high school. I was fucking pissed off that I guess Jenna Ortega's thing is something else, but like there was like a flap, like how come Wednesday isn't gay? And I'm like, what are people fucking talking about?
Yeah, it wasn't. Selma Hayek is Catherine Zeta-Jones as Morticia.
Even more understandable because Catherine Zeta-Jones speaks English as a first language and only looks Latino because she's like actually British.
My God, that
Although she might
the
be
guy
a
that
British
got the
Latino, I don't know.
father is Jesus. He's ugly.
Well, they were going with. There's two different visions of Gomez. Az had to do something I've never seen him do before. He backed off his take. He was pissed off and called the show stupid and woke because Gomez was so ugly. Then people came to him with the original cartoon and the original animations and the original comics. So he had to admit that a handsome Gomez was, a change of
that only happened one time.
Well, no, it happened 3 times, right? It happens in the show and it happens in 2 movies.
So I wouldn't call the series. He wasn't too handsome. He had that the hair and the mustache really took away from his looks.
I want to be honest. John Astin, what you said is true, but John Astin was considered like really good looking. He has one son who was in Party of Five. The other son is Samwise. He was like a string of hot wives. His record as a swordsman belies what you're saying. But yeah, I mean, I get you. Like, he had money and he was hilarious and he wasn't ugly. Like, you're in a room and it's him and Woody Allen and they're about equally funny, but one is like, you know, gonna do a little better.
Yeah, one isn't Woody Allen. That's the biggest help that he could have.
Right. But one's not perving on your fucking kids.
Sorry, guys, had minor emergency. Thanks for letting me on the panel today. See you guys later. Sustain stream. Yeah, no problem, Mikey.
Mikey. Yeah, sorry we lost you. That was a bummer.
Yeah. Hope everything works out.
Maybe that fire alarm was actually real this time.
Yeah. Well, it's just statistically speaking, it has to be a real fire one of these times.
So it's instead of shameless plugs, do you want to talk for like 2 minutes about what we're going to do tonight, or this is still your stream? You do what you want. Hey, Cody.
Yeah.
Hey, it's the man of many words. Welcome, Cody guy.
How you doing, Cody? Yeah, go ahead and talk about what you got planned.
All right, here's what's going on. I was supposed to be doing something today, but I'm not. That means that I could go out there and save Star Trek tonight, and we're going to continue with the Enterprise watch parties. And I want the word to get around, but because I'm having fucking problems with bots, and I don't know what the deal is with YouTube weather, I'm not using Star Trek or any fucking any terms at all until after the live stream. I'm not using any tags, and it's just called Teague's Intense Trek Show. It's already set up. It's definitely me and Rezo. Gorilla, you got an invite, and we're gonna see what happens because I don't know how many of my original bridge crew I can get because I gave everyone shore leave before I found out that I was not going on the away mission. But tonight, 2 interesting episodes, and I got it. Germ is my hero for this one, man. Thank you so much. We're gonna get to see Terra Nova, and the first episode we're gonna watch is Unexpected. Do you remember either one of those?
Yeah.
Terra Nova.
Unexpected is the weirdest of them.
What's that? Unexpected is one of the weirdest Star Trek episodes, period.
Hey, ain't that the one where Trip gets knocked up?
Yeah, exactly. Bath salts are a hell of a drug. He fucking does bath salts with some alien.
He gets raped in it.
Yeah. No, I don't know if I'd call it that because he's into it.
Hey, you can't be willing at the beginning that call it rape. Once you regret it.
Here's the thing. It's not non-consensual. It's that the alien doesn't this is what Star Trek used to be good, right? The alien doesn't completely perceive what our idea of intimacy is, and Trip doesn't completely perceive what the fuck he's doing, and the alien's pretty sure it will never work, but they stick their hands in some fucking glowing bath salts. And then, 2 days later, he's pregnant.
So let me get this right. He thought he was going to get intimate and be like the first date. She just wanted a one-night stand, and she thought since he's a different species, she didn't need some damn birth control. But she ends up getting knocked up on a one-night stand, or knocks him up on a one-night stand.
Yeah, and I don't know if Trip thought that it was anything more because she's like, oh, it's just kind of like a mind meld. So he has a good experience. He's like, that was kind of cool, Captain. I could get into meeting other aliens. It was sort of enjoyable. And he was just like, yeah, Trip, that's great. And then 2 days later, he's like, I woke up feeling kind of sick this morning, doctor. And he's like, well, you're pregnant. And it's like, what? And it's like, oh, Florida man, you did those bath salts. And that one's funny. It's the first.
Hey man, bath salts are. Hey man, bath salts is one hell of a drug.
Well, it's like Rohypnol for these aliens, but she doesn't mean to do it. It's not supposed to happen, and all they're supposed to do is have a mind bonding with these glowing bath salts.
I try to tell that to a judge. It's costing me a couple $100 a month.
Oh God, that's funny. Actually, in this one, they're like both him and the alien agree it's best that the alien child, because They handle this one well. They don't turn it into Roe v. Wade. It's just supposed to be fucking fun. No one takes the low-hanging political fruit at all. It's just fun, if I remember it correctly. I don't think we have any larger statement, because we find out that it's a walled-off life form of its own that's not taking anything from Trip. It won't be anything from him. And it's simply like he has a cyst. So when it's gone, it's gone. And it makes nothing but sense for it to go with the aliens. And he's down with it, and he never talks about it again. So it has nothing to do with anything.
I'm sure T'Pol brought it up once or twice.
Oh,
that's something you hold over a guy.
The thing is, it doesn't hold him back because he gets in there with T'Pol, man. And we know Reed wants her ass because he talks a lot about her ass. Reed talks about T'Pol's ass a lot. And then the second
Reed's awfully horny for a Brit.
Hey, only in 143 episodes there, Teague.
Wait, there's 143? I thought there was less than 100 episodes of Enterprise.
I don't know. I just throwing a random number out.
Somebody said there's just about 100, so I think it's actually like 96 episodes or something.
He only talks about her ass in 94 of the episodes.
Yeah, when it's my favorite one I watched with PDB was one of the first ever Saving Star Treks. We watched Shuttle Pod 1, and like they think they're gonna die, and it's like, I've got something to tell you, Trip. I look at T'Pol's ass, look at it all the time. I think she's got a nice bum. You haven't noticed? And he's like, I think we're gonna die. And it's like, Florida man, wake up! And he's just like, I don't like the cold. And it's like, yeah, no shit, Florida man. But then the next one's called Terra Nova, about a lost Earth colony. Do you guys remember that one?
I know that. I know that one. They're all mole people.
It's really weird. It's weird. But it makes sense. They pay it off. I don't want to tip my hand too much to the story of that one. The thing is that, like, while that episode may not have been super well received and Enterprise wasn't, what we found out is Enterprise is the Star Wars prequels of Star Trek, and that it does really well at watch parties, and it does really well with a second view. We've had people come in the first 2 weeks to these watch parties saying that terrible show, terrible theme song, and so like we have a little fun. We joke around. We like someone will sing the theme song. And one of the panelists will sing the theme song, and then we'll go with the episode. And like so far, everybody has said that they have liked every episode better than the first time, and that they think it's Shakespeare in comparison to what they have now. And so far, the opinions are trending towards, on an episode by episode basis, it's slightly better than Deep Space Nine or Voyager.
Well, it's certainly better than Voyager. I don't know about Deep Space Nine, but it blows Voyager out of the water.
There's as many failed, totally unwatchable Deep Space Nine episodes as there are episodes of Enterprise. Though Deep Space Nine reaches higher heights a lot. There's like there are like 7 times 22, 144 episodes. No, there has to be more than that. How many episodes are there of Deep Space Nine?
172-ish.
I'm asking my popular assistant. 173 episodes. So there's 73 more, or about 80 more episodes than there are. Like, so there's like double, right? Because we got 4 years opposed to 7. It's just about double. And I think there's like short seasons and writing strikes affecting both shows to make that work out. But if they hadn't jumped ahead to that Xindi arc and carefully kept along the path they had, that show might have gotten season 5. It delayed developing an audience because they tried to do something that they do too often in Hollywood. They thought Hollywood could make it better. They saw 9/11 and they responded to 9/11 by changing the Xindi arc and accelerating all those stories by 1 year. And they're all right. But Germ, can you tell? Do you think you could tell? Right? The stories weren't polished off enough for the Xindi arc?
The Xindi arc, in my opinion, is the weakest part of Enterprise. Outside of the whole Temporal Cold War BS. The Temporal Cold War BS is definitely the worst. But they got better at that and just dealt with that mainly on the season premiere and season finale episodes.
I
never saw
like the Cindy
Daniel.
arc though.
Some of the stories were isolated from the rest of the arc, but were still part of it. The only way I can explain is this. They make him do things that are unprincipled, and he hates it. And even though the episodes aren't that great, there's one that's like a great character moment. They have to go counterattack these guys because they're total motherfuckers. And everyone on the ship hates them the way we hated the Taliban. They don't have like middle of the road feelings. Even T'Pol is like, to not respond would be foolhardy. So they're out for blood. And Archer is completely different that season. But do you remember the episode where they steal the warp core?
Not offhand.
Gorilla remembers it. All right, so there's an episode where their warp core is fucked and they can't fix it because they're the only ship like that anyway. They're too far from Earth and they don't have like the kind of replicators we have later. They only have like food synthesizers or something. Star Trek Enterprise season 3 was the first Star Trek season I ever bought. I love that season. It's one of the best Enterprise for me. Season 3 for them is I like it. Season 3 is
was their highest rated. Season 3 is the
season.
Xindi.
Is it? Okay. So season 3 is the Xindi. Honestly, that's not bad pacing when you think about it because they explore for 2 seasons as neophytes before they go on this mission. The Xindi mission is a grim mission of vengeance that's tempered by the fact that Archer is so humane. Scott Bakula, over the course of that season, does fucking fantastic acting here and there. It's just that some episodes don't work and people already had a fucking problem and a hard-on for the show. We didn't realize that there wouldn't always be really good Star Trek just flowing like out of a giant faucet into our arms. We didn't realize that was a thing, and it is. It was, and it didn't happen. And now that the planet isn't covered with a protective dome of tinted Ray-Ban glass, and then we don't have air conditioning and drone-delivered New York pizza everywhere, and we're really far behind where I fucking thought we'd be by now, Star Trek has gone so far backwards, it's absolute fucking trash, and these episodes are enjoyable.
Yeah, definitely.
The Xindi arc is more entertaining than the... There is no episode of the Xindi arc that's unwatchable. There's a couple that missed the mark. It takes Enterprise. Enterprise doesn't stick the landing on this one as much as the end of Voyager did, but the difference between Voyager, Enterprise, and Deep Space Nine is this. When a Voyager or Deep Space Nine episode, and Voyager, this only counts after they get it, they run into 7. When those episodes don't quite hit the mark, they have that Star Trek camp and humor and appeal. And I can laugh at the captain's Irish romance on the holodeck and watch the whole thing. I can laugh at Tom Paris obsessing on Captain Proton and enjoy the whole thing, even if what they were totally trying to do didn't work, because it's fun. Once they get the characters right, they're right. Like Tom Paris as a big kid at heart works. Tom Paris as an angry infant didn't.
The only problem was they kept bouncing back and forth.
Yeah,
for most of the time.
I feel that by season 4, they realized that Big Kid at Heart was the better one, but they sometimes had leftover like infant stories. Because once like Big Kid at Heart Paris shows up, they even try to work it into when he acts like a baby again sometimes. You know what I mean? Like it's just an aspect of his Big Kid at Heartness. They try to rescue infantile.
Yeah,
Tom
but
Paris.
They go back and forth for plot conveniences, though. That's the biggest problem.
The person who gets fucked the most is Robert Beltran Chakotay. The guy's a good actor. The character's compelling. The story is it's largely left untold. What does a conflicted Maquis commander who just wants the best for everyone, who's a good person at heart, who believes that since they were once Starfleet, they can be Starfleet again for this mission, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
he should have been the captain after season 2. Janeway should have died in Scorpion, and Chakotay should have been captain.
Well, they had fucking and Kim got screwed over too. Hell, they demoted Paris and brought in, and then he got promoted back to lieutenant.
Oh no, they cover that. The one who got demoted was the Demon Planet copy.
Oh, was it?
See, like now that might might not work perfectly, but like I said, it has like a charm and it's kind of funny. You know what I mean? Like when those Star Trek episodes fuck up, they're kind of funny. I mean, whenever they say let's go to the holodeck, you're like, no, don't go to your holodeck. It's the house from the Amityville Horror meets the house from Poltergeist. Don't go to your holodeck. Fucking space creatures live in the holodeck. It never works right. The holodeck creatures come to life. Don't go to your And then this alien race that clearly didn't watch the show is like, we like your holodeck. Can we have the tech? And they're like, of course you can. And then we find out that it's like genociding them.
Well, what else are a bunch of hunters going to do with it?
The thing is, the two episodes don't quite agree. They're hostile to each other. The episode where the holograms become sentient and start fighting back, while that aspect of it makes sense, they buy back and contradict the reason she gave it to them and the implications of why she gave it to them to make her into an asshole. The episode where she gives it to them, the reason that she gives it to them is one, they got something she wants, but two, they say to her, like, we've depopulated like entire races. It's time for the Herosian to move on. If we could satisfy our predatory instinct by turning off the safety protocols in your holodeck, we wouldn't have to take the lives of innocent people. We've progressed to the point where we understand morality. But then when they came back to hit it again, it was like they never watched that episode. They're like, this holodeck you gave us as a trap fucked us up. And it's like, that's not what happened. You wanted that fucking thing. So, like, evil Captain Janeway, I think it's more like the show really fucks her over. The meta of the show just changes dramatically sometimes. Because she'll die for every crew member until she won't. You know what I mean? Look at the Captain Janeway in an episode like, do you remember Distant Origin with like the dinosaurs who were spacefaring, who are like, we couldn't have come from another planet. We were always spacefaring dinosaurs. It's supposed to be like the Scopes monkey trial and evolution.
Yeah.
They had found like a dead crewman of Voyager. The Janeway in that is like kind of cold-hearted and absolutely unconcerned with the remains of her dead crewmen and all these other things that like are kind of fucking sketch, and you might not notice it, but your brain will, because that episode is actually, to me, somewhat interesting. And the parts that don't make it make me laugh. It's got that camp and that funniness and a charm. I'm not laughing at it. I'm laughing with it. But then, like, look at Captain Janeway in an episode equally dumb, but still charming and funny. But earlier, Macrocosm, right before her haircut, where it's just basically Die Hard and she fights a bunch of like styrofoam monsters on the ship in a tank top because people aren't digging Cass. So we got to go to the captain as our hot girl. And you realize, wow, the captain's all right looking. She just kind of has a strange face. She had a good body.
I don't think she is all right looking at all.
When we get to Macrocosm and she pulls off the tunic top and she just is wearing the tank top and she's like, I'm ready to go. You're like, the voice, terrible, the face, debatable, but wow, she does have a nice body.
She looks like Wish.com Sigourney Weaver.
Does it look like someone kicked a slice of pizza around the barbershop floor when you go downstairs? I'm guessing yes, but aside from that, I thought she had a good body. That's me.
I guess each their own.
You know what? When I watch it, I was just like, "Ooh, nice nipples." You know, that was just me. Plus, like, anybody feel okay checking out Cass when she would make sure to say she's 2 years old, like all the time?
Well, she even looked too young. She looked like a 12-year-old crack addict living in a trailer park half the time.
They did cast someone who had like the looks to play like a Middle Earth elf or something like that in Jennifer Lien. And then, like, I don't want to blame her because she legitimately has mental problems, but I think this, like, if you notice, it's going to sound weird. A lot of the people who do really weird, fucked up shit, like, they do it in like one big age to go crazy is high school, but the other second biggest age to go crazy at is 28. And you can look at all the people who die at 28. Look at all the rock stars who die at 28. Like, that's like another threshold.
The 27
of, like,
club,
behavior. Yeah. Yeah. 27, 28 is like a lot like the Unabomber becomes dangerous at 27. Like, he leaves society and starts becoming operational. It takes him 17 years to put his plan together, but that was his pace. He's operational. You know what I mean? James Joker Holmes, the guy who does that terrible thing at the movie theater in Colorado, he's 28. He had just found out that he couldn't continue in a grad school program, and he had such specialized and such limited education. And I think it was like very binary education. It was like mathematical. So it's like the guy thought in mathematical steps and may have been a little bit nutty that way. Like, so it's like the pattern was, I have failed, I must destroy. And it was just like, if P, then Q. And he didn't have, it was like no off switch on the guy. The saddest thing about that was that, did you know that, like, there was like 4 or 5 survivors of what was the first one in Colorado? Columbine. There was 5 or 6 Columbine survivors in the audience for that, or in the theater. Some people survived both, and I think there's one person who survived one and didn't survive the other.
That is extraordinary bad luck.
Fucking Final Destination. That, and it is possible that if somebody that fucked up gets their hands on that kind of firepower, like, let's face it, he had some improvised shit. He was going to pull some stuff anyway, but maybe like that, like, you know, I believe that everyone has the right to own a gun, but maybe there's some caution, so a little bit of common sense. You know, this country was supposed to be founded on it. That guy never should have had a gun. Wasn't it that his mother?
The guy should have been in a psychiatric institute. His mother tried to get him into a psychiatric institute, but being on his own recognizance, refused to go to the psychiatric appointment.
Now, he already had a record that he had a lot of problems, and he goes and he buys this powerful weapon, and the first thing he does is gat down mom, right?
I believe he stole the gun from his parents.
But they're the first victims in this terrible tale. It's just that no one particularly feels bad for them, correct? He takes them out before he goes to the theater. He's a cold-blooded guy. I
believe so, yeah.
He also had like improvised like smoke and tear gas grenades and a gas mask, and I mean that was he did a lot of damage. The only person I think who was abjectly more crazy. Do you remember the smiley face bomber from after 9/11?
No, I do not.
This one's so weird you can Google it. After 9/11, a series of bombings started, and they seemed random. No one could figure them out for a while. Then the pattern started to emerge. A guy was trying to do a series of bombings to draw a huge smiley face in the middle of the continental United States. That's how they basically caught him. They're like, he has to go to this town next. He wasn't blowing up like people. It was like he would just leave a bomb and blow up like someone's like outdoor rural mailbox, or just leave it like I think he does get a few people, but it wasn't his intent. Like, he was just crazy. But he's like 27 years old. So like with Jennifer Leanne, I think she was okay until she wasn't. Does that make sense?
Yeah, she was holding it together until the very.
I don't even.
That very end, when it became obvious you can't continue in this role. We're going to get a hotter blonde with twice the size of a rack.
I don't even know if they knew that she was messed up when they got rid of her. They knew the character was fucked, right? Because
they knew the character was fucked, and she was already having her problems.
Was she? Because I will say this. It didn't work at all. It didn't work at all because of what we knew about Cass. But do you remember the last dozen or so times we ever see Cass? And the last dozen times we see Cass, it's like almost one after another, because they throw it all in. They're all in trying to save Kes and Neelix. And I guess she has problems and he doesn't, but she's told to deliver a totally different kind of Kes, and she does. It's just she's successful, the character isn't. Because remember, like smoky, sexy voice catsuit Kes, where like Jennifer Leon's pretty enough to do it, but it was too cringe.
They made adjustments to the character to help suit her in her range, because the innocent part wasn't really going too well for her.
Well, the innocent part can't go too well when you have like a really young actress, and she was, with an older older actor, and it's supposed to be like a May December romance, and then like you completely blow like how that alien looks to make it confounding, right? That she would like him, and then also give that alien like the most unenviable backstory ever. Ethan Phillips should be considered a great Star Trek actor that you ever feel anything ever for terribly conceived, horrible looking Neelix. Armin Shimmerman had a lot more to work with. You know what I'm saying about Neelix?
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't have a lot to work with there. I don't blame him for any of the problems with Neelix. I blame that on whoever designed the Talaxians to begin with, and whoever was writing it.
And who greenlighted that. The Talaxians were usable as some other fucking race, just not to be your main guy. Like, you do better several times in this show. Like, he should have been like a near human looking alien and just give up on trying to make him look so exotic. I understand that he had all the skills. Just, he did fun in the episode of Enterprise where he comes back and plays a Ferengi. I never get over feeling bad for Ethan Phillips. The fact that sometimes his exchanges with Tuvok work, and the fact that sometimes he's with sometimes he's like able to make you feel emotions for that character. That guy really is a good actor. Like, think about it. The episode where he buys that map, that hot map, and he lies to the Discovery to the Voyager crew about his knowledge of the system, because he's really, really afraid to not be part of the Federation, and that's all he wants. Like, that's a really good trait, but they botch it by having him do something underhanded to be part of something good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's not as exciting, I get it, to have him go to Captain Janeway and be like, Captain Janeway, I no longer know anything about space in front of you. I'm not as important as you thought, but I can't stay here. I'm one of you now. That might have been just as good of an episode, rather than like, we have to confront the fact that he's also a thief, and she's like, oh, Neelix, you irrepressible scamp, and we just kind of forget about it with like a flourish. It's like we hand wave that away.
Then several people die in that too.
And we hand wave it. But the thing is, no one ever really dies in Voyager, because without picking up a lot of hitchhikers, it stays 144 crewmen no matter how many people we kill off. They never adjust that number.
Yeah. Well, not even crew. He got his friend at least got sentenced to death or worse than death.
Grima Wormtongue from Lord of the Rings is in Star Trek Discovery. I'm sorry, Star Trek Voyager. He does a great job. Tim Russ, who is an asshole in real life, does a great job. And this episode where he's a serial killer, the episode doesn't, I mean, it's a little bit fucking fucked up why Tuvok would want a mind meld with every serial killer he meets. But in this one, it's the first time, and you're like, I understand a little bit. He's got some scientific curiosity. But when he keeps doing it, it's too weird.
Yeah. But we are going to have to wrap up. We're already well over time.
I'm sorry. Thanks for the really generous live intro from my show. I appreciate it. It's really, really appreciated.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah, and I got to go mow lawn here.
Yeah. So you're doing your
can I
DS9 at 4?
Yeah, we got DS9 at 6 o'clock Central Standard Time. Then tomorrow, Starship Troopers 2 for some damn reason. And then Wednesday, we'll be finishing off Justified. Thursday, we were watching Stand By Me. Then we're reviewing The Lie for the Waltons episode on Friday there. Thank you for having me on, Germ.
Yeah, glad you can be here. And
Thank you for enjoying our conversation, Gorilla. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
And Teagues,
So
right after Gorilla, Teagues watch party should be starting. And
9:30 U.S.
that,
Eastern.
yeah. And at 2:00 Pacific time, I believe Sci-Fi Sith Dan has his panel stream. So check that out. We'll be back on Tuesday for Sci-Fi Cinema, an episode of Andromeda, and then Nerd Night Roundtable on Thursday, and another cartoon next Saturday. Take care, everyone. See you next time.